I'll be creating this video on the assumption that most of you already know the backstory here, but for those who haven't heard about it, I'm gonna include a bit of context here. This year, unfortunately, our German Shepherd dog called Venus passed away. We didn't want to leave our other dog all alone. For a long time now, I wanted to have a Husky. The situation that we ended up with is that there were no German Shepherd puppies around by, and yes, I know it's 2023, and if I could have gone for it, I would have pushed for getting a dog from shelter, but there was a bit of incentive to get a dog as soon as possible, so our other dog Tessa wouldn't get into a depressive state. We ended up finding 2 Huskies. We took one of them in, and it's been a few months since then. Mainly I just want to talk about what it's like to own a Husky for the first time, and who knows, maybe if there are any Husky owners out there watching this, you might be able to help us out, see what others have as experience and stuff like that about owning and raising a Husky, because this is the first time we have one. When we took her in, she was barely 3 months old. She was around, not even 3 months old. She didn't have the necessary medical treatment that you would need for any dog that you raise up here. The first thing we did when we bought her was take it home and then get an appointment with the doctor and immediately take her back to the doctor on the same day. And then the first week she was kept in the, like when you get into the house, the first room right there. And it didn't take a long time to find out what it's like to have a Husky. There was always something torn apart. The main problem that we had for at least the first few weeks is that the 2 dogs that we had, they didn't really want to get together in a friendly manner. We always had to supervise the 2 dogs to make sure there are no problems, like none of them gets hurt and stuff like that. But thankfully they got friendly towards each other because they were forced into the same room a few times when there was a massive storm. Our other dog is named Tessa, and she absolutely hates thunder, so whenever there's a thunderstorm, she's the first one to let us know that she wants to get in by smashing the door with her paw. So there were a few nights that they spent together, and since then it's been actually surprisingly quiet. There were a few interesting moments here and there. Susie has developed some interesting hiding spots. Her favorite one was under a desk, and another one that had scared me shitless was sitting on a closed well. I don't know, that was like before summer started. She would sit on top of a well. There's like coverage on it, but it's not a well in good conditions. But outside of the usual things like moving things, making holes to get into the garden, outside of that, there is not much problem with her. Interestingly, she's very silent for what I've expected from a Husky. Barely yells, she barely talks, barely older than half-year-old, and for a Husky, from what I expected, she's very silent. She likes to play around. I have a few smaller bite marks because she likes to play around with my feet. So the first things we did when we bought her is like get her some toys so she can get used to what it's like to bite on stuff. I mean, the first week was barely survivable. She single-handedly killed my sleeping schedule, what little I had left. And there were days when I slept 3 times a day, so the first week or so was pretty bad. Not gonna lie, it was pretty bad. I slept so little, so few times. Yeah, I'm glad that time is over. What do you guys think? One thing is for sure, she is much cooler than I am.